In times before the sailing of boats became a pleasure and a pastime, these creeks were home to over 70 working fishing smacks. Both the old boats and the men who sailed them still live on in retirement. The wooden sail lofts that once supported the commercial sailing industry are now used as offices. But some workshops are still knee-deep in wood shavings, and the men who work here remember when sailing became yachting.
Well now, Lennox and Levitt, a lifetime at sea we could talk about.
Yes.
Apprenticed fisherman, were you? I mean,
Yes.
What age were you when you started that?
14 years old.
Good gracious.
I started work 14 as a shrimper. I was the boy on a shrimping boat cooking the shrimps.
Was that a tough life?
Yeah, well, not too bad, but up in the morning about 1 o'clock in the morning and be finished work about 9 o'clock in Harwich in the afternoon, and got rid of all the oysters and got the things cleared up and sold the shrimps, sent them away and everything, and that was in the summer. And then in the winter we used to go fishing.
Between the wars, when the rich used to pit their money and their reputations against each other by racing huge yachts, they hired these fishermen for their experience and their skills. Lennox was among them.
Hard work.
I bet.
You used to tear your hands about because I was on the Genoa, and they had wire round the winch. You never use rope, and the rope wouldn't hold, but wire. And they used to go around like a spring.
God. What, like a cable?
Yes, like a cable, like a wire.
But you don't handle that. We weren't handling that with your bare hands.
Yes, we were.
Well, you must have hands like oxhide.
We used to, they used to split right out of the bone. You had to put spanion round to hold them together.
God bless my soul. Well, that was expected. You knew
Yes,
you
it
didn't.
was.
No complaining.
No,
you just got on with it.
Well, no good complaining.
What would happen if you did?
You won't get no sympathy.
That was that.
Yeah,
Right, so just get on with it, and no
yeah.
fuss. What were the conditions like? I mean, what sort of food did you get?
Oh, we got plenty of food. Food was all right. We had, and when we raced, we got 5 bob extra for food.
Did you? That's not
Yes.
bad. So it paid all right.
We got about 12 and 6 to start the race. About 12 and 6 if you started a race.
Was that good money for those
Yes,
days?
15 shillings for 15 shillings for a second, and a pound for win, and 5 bob food money.
Was that good money
Yes,
for those
it was.
days?
So at the end of the season, you picked up your racing money, see?
And that was more than you'd get if you'd just
About
been
40
fishing or something?
You get 40 or 50 pound at the end of the season, see, if you had a good season.
Terrific.
Because we had a good season that year, because we took nearly all the races after that.
And are we talking about people like Lipton is the big name, isn't he? I mean, they were talking about millionaires.
Lipton, this was a bloke named Westhead down Blue Marlin.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, and Sopwith was racing against us in the Tommy Hawk, and Paul in the little Astra. They'd got the little Astra then, because the big ones had finished then, or they weren't sailing then.
So these were the very rich industrialists
Yes, they
and
were
businessmen
rich,
of the
yes,
time.
very rich.
Did they have anything to do with you, your junior crew?
Oh,
then?
yes, they used to talk to us, yes.
Yeah. And this was a great centre for those days of
Yes,
sailing,
it
wasn't
was.
it? You know, it isn't anymore, really, is it?
Not
But in those
really.
days, it was a sort of...
We've still got racing in the blood, but
Oh, yes. Well, we know that from the great
Yes,
classic boat
yes.
races, don't we? But that's...
we race these smacks and things now. Well, that's how they started, really. That's how they got into the racing boats.
Why? Because they had to race to the fishing grounds?
They used to always race back or race to the fishing grounds, yes.
And what's happened to all these beautiful old racing boats now? Some of them have been converted into houseboats. Or something.
Houseboats, yes. The one over at Mersey called the Hispania, she was the King of Spain's boat. She laid here for 11 years in a shed, and then she went sailing again. But I see her over Mersey, but she's in the Sultans there.
But it's quite a thing nowadays, I suppose, isn't it, to get a boat like that? You don't
Yes,
see
it
boats
is.
like that.
You don't see many like that now.
Because they take such a lot of looking after, don't they?
Yes, they're all Tupperware now.